Welcome to Crime Era channel, where every crime tells a story. The darkest secrets of crime are uncovered, and the hidden truths of criminal underworlds come to light. In the early 1980s, an isolated corner of Oregon became the stage for one of America's most audacious social experiments, a utopia built on faith, charisma, and the promise of a better life. But beneath the manicured gardens and colorful tents, tension simmered. The story that unfolded would shake a small town to its core and leave questions that linger even today. How far will people follow a visionary before reason gives way to devotion? And what is the cost when a community's dream collides with reality? Our story begins with a man named Osho, born Chandra Mohan Jain in 1931. He was a spiritual teacher, a provocateur, a man whose words were both magnetic and polarizing. By the 1970s, he had amassed thousands of followers worldwide, drawn to his message of personal freedom, meditation, and unorthodox philosophies on love and society. In 1981, Rajneesh arrived in the United States. In rural Oregon, a struggling county offered a golden opportunity: cheap land, a small population, and the promise of investment. For Wasco County, it seemed like economic salvation. For Rajneesh and his disciples, it was a blank canvas. Nearly 64,000 acres would become Rajneeshpuram, a commune that promised paradise, yet harbored the seeds of conflict. Locals were curious, welcoming even, but ideological clashes were inevitable. Outsiders and insiders would collide in ways that would escalate beyond imagination. From barren desert, a city of dreams rose. Rajneeshpuram was not merely a collection of buildings. It was a vision. Roads were paved by hand, gardens designed for sustenance and beauty, and meditation platforms were nestled in quiet groves. Every detail reflected harmony. Followers, called sannyasins, wore orange and red robes, beads around their necks, their faces serene yet purposeful. They meditated for hours, practiced dynamic techniques that demanded both body and spirit, and engaged in communal work that blurred the lines between labor and devotion. Yet this freedom had boundaries. Every word, every gesture, every thought could reflect loyalty or disobedience. One former resident recalled, "You felt free until you realized your freedom had boundaries you couldn't see. Everything you did reflected on the community and on Rajneesh. Schools, hospitals, small shopping centers, and art festivals sprung up. Life thrived. But tensions were quietly brewing. Disagreements over duties, the pace of work, and interpretations of teachings began to surface. Loyalty was not only encouraged, it was demanded. Every eye, every ear, every word was scrutinized. The commune was growing, but like any utopia, it contained within it the seeds of discontent. Conflict with local authorities was inevitable. The newcomers, tens of thousands strong, now outnumbered the original residents in some areas. Cultural clashes were immediate. Loud festivals, unusual attire, and unconventional lifestyles sparked concern among the locals. Officials worried about zoning laws, tax obligations, and the commune's growing political influence. Rajneesh and his followers, feeling misunderstood, responded with their own strategies: legal battles, political maneuvering, and the creation of their own security force. Every meeting became a negotiation. Every disagreement escalated. The line between utopia and a state of siege had begun to blur. Within Rajneeshpuram, power dynamics intensified. Anand and Sheela, Rajneesh's personal secretary, emerged as a key figure, charismatic, decisive, and ruthless when necessary. She enforced discipline, oversaw security, and managed the commune's rapid expansion. Yet with authority came paranoia, surveillance, secret plans, and preparation for confrontation with perceived enemies became routine. The dream of a spiritual utopia was being overshadowed by a growing obsession with control. What began as idealism morphed into a tightly controlled ecosystem. Outsiders were viewed with suspicion. Dissent within the commune was quelled. Fear quietly replaced innocence. In pursuit of utopia, the leaders were slowly redefining morality on their own terms. The escalation came in forms the local population could hardly comprehend: food contamination, phone tapping, voter manipulation, and eventually, bioterrorism, Rajneeshpuram's leaders believed that external forces were out to destroy them, and their response crossed legal and moral lines. In 1984, followers deliberately contaminated salad bars in nearby towns, sickening hundreds of people. It was an attempt to influence local elections, a calculated act that blurred the line between political strategy and outright criminality. Investigators later reflected, "We had never seen anything like it in small-town America. The scale, the audacity, it was unprecedented. Phone lines were tapped, mail was intercepted, outsiders were spied on. Even within the commune, suspicion ran deep. Allegiances shifted. Secrets multiplied, and paranoia became a constant companion. Yet, there was a strange normalcy to it all. Children still played, meditations continued, and festivals still drew crowds. From the outside, life seemed unchanged, but behind closed doors, decisions were made that would eventually bring the commune crashing down," one former insider reflected. "We told ourselves it was for the greater good, but deep down, we knew the line had been crossed. There was no turning back." The downfall came swiftly. Investigations revealed the extent of the crimes. Anand and Sheela fled the country. Rajneesh faced deportation. Followers scattered. The commune disintegrated. What had promised spiritual enlightenment ended in legal battles, criminal convictions, and shattered dreams. Yet the story didn't end there. The legacy of Rajneeshpuram lingered, a cautionary tale of ambition, faith, and the dangers of unchecked power. Rajneeshpuram's story is more than a tale of cults or crime. It is a lens into human nature, our need for community, for guidance, for purpose. It is a reminder that even in the pursuit of utopia, ethics and humanity cannot be ignored. For the residents of Oregon, the commune was a disruption, a threat, and an unforgettable lesson. For the world, it was a glimpse into the extremes of devotion and power. And for history, it remains a paradox, a place of beauty, vision, and darkness, all at once. Somewhere in the Oregon desert, the echoes of dreams, devotion, and despair still linger, waiting to remind us that utopia is often closer to our imagination than our reality. This story is a testament to the complexities of faith, power, and human ambition. It asks us to question, when does belief become blind obedience? And when does paradise turn into a prison? Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most compelling chapters. We'll see you in the next one.